Already.
Yes. Hello, hi everyone. My name is Stella Waidera and I am the team lead of African STEM Summit. Welcome to the afternoon session. Like we said, this summit is a 3-day event curated to inspire, mentor, guide, and expose individuals to the technical skills they will need at every level of their career journey, from the junior to the intermediate to the senior level. The goal is to bridge the skills and gender gap in STEM. And for those who do not know what STEM means, STEM means sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So you can follow the speaker using their LinkedIn links. I have added it to the description of this video. And you can also talk to us about your experience in the African STEM Summit using the hashtag Africa STEM Summit and also by tagging us. And also, once you follow the speaker, you can also be able to connect with them, tag them, and tell them how the session was, and communicate further on the topic. So, welcome to the session. The topic is the power of minimalism in UI UX design. Our speaker is going to be Geoffrey Karanja, a well-seasoned designer, especially in user experience. So I will hand over the mic to Geoffrey. Welcome, Geoffrey.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So today I'll be sharing a topic that's dear to me, and that's minimalism. So I'm going to be talking about the power of minimalism in UI UX design. So today what we are going to be covering is what minimalism is, for those who don't know, and what minimalism is in UI UX. We're gonna look at the history of minimalism. We're gonna look at the core principles of minimalism in UI UX, and we're gonna see how minimalism is important for your design. We're gonna see real world illustrations of minimalistic UI designs. And lastly, I'm gonna share with you steps of creating a minimalist UI design for your app. So as we start, what minimalism is? So minimalism means keeping things simple, using only what's necessary. It's not just a design concept, it can be a way of life or a way to stay organized, making things look neat and tidy. Now we can look at what minimalism is in UI UX. So, minimalism in UI UX design. This is an approach that emphasizes simplicity and clarity. Actually, that's the concept, and that's the root concept of minimalism in UI UX. It's simplicity and clarity. So, this is a design approach that emphasizes simplicity and clarity in user interfaces and experiences. It is characterized by the principle of less is more. It focuses on stripping away unnecessary elements and distractions to create streamlined, intuitive user, user experience. So now I think we can dive to the history of minimalism. We can see how minimalism came about. So some misconception people have is people think minimalism is a modern revolution, but it's not. So minimalism in UX design or minimalism in design um, was a minimalism was a visual art movement in the era following World War II. So minimalism is not a modern revolution, but it started back then. So this emerged as a reaction to the chaotic colors, motion, marks subjectively often found in abstract expressionist work. So it was heavily influenced by the famous German art movement Bauhaus. Bauhaus was a school in Germany. It was an art school. So this school is the one which pioneered the movement for minimalism, which focused on simple yet functional design. And in the 1960s, minimalism became part in a variety of fields, particularly fine art and architecture. So that's where it all came about. So people started noticing the visual appeal of minimalist designs after implementing them in home decor and architecture. It came to a smooth spread from architecture to the fields like design, art, and more. Especially for digital design, it has become a thumbnail for applying it to web design nowadays. In a minimal design, the central idea, object, or element takes center stage while only the necessary components accompany it. It focuses on the idea of simplicity and harmony in design. It is connected to conceptual art that became popular at the same time. This is chosen and presented serve a purpose, an idea. Minimalist UI design embraces the element of experience more than attachment to things and consumerism. So we can see this. When Google went live, it had a more simplistic design approach instead of being clustered web design that is full of elements regardless of their necessity. It worked wonderful for them. As we can see today, another great live example of a sleek and minimal web design is Apple's official website. Now, minimalistic design principles are now showing up in new and expected places such as e-commerce sites, online publication, and even educational sites are adopting minimalistic design trends and strategies. So, from this history, we can see the origin of where minimalism started. We can see who pioneered the movement. We can see Bahawas, which was the school that pioneered the movement, and we can see that minimalism is not a. It didn't start with digital. It didn't start with a digital footprint, but it started uh, after World War II, late in the 1950s, as as a way of expressing as an expression in art. So we can say that minimalism, in a perspective of in design in UI/UX, it originated from uh, physical manifestation, like in arts, paintings. We can see architecture, and that's how people came to realize the of minimalism and came to realize how minimalism is looks good. So, and eventually became I started manifesting in digital prints. So now I think I can take you through. So we finished looking at how minimalism started. So I can take you to the core principles of minimalism in UI UX. So uh, what are the core principles of minimalism in UI UX? So one is simplicity and clarity. This is the base of minimalism, simplicity and clarity. So simplicity stands tall as one of the fundamental principles of a design. It is a superpower that excels in the art of stripping away excess to reveal the essence of a message or a function. By reducing cognitive load, minimalism paves the way for seamless user interactions. So simplicity pioneers for only placement of things that gets user to the goals. Any other thing that won't reach the user to the goal that he or she needs, it's stripped away. So we only need things that are gonna be helpful to the user. So we can see this in Twitter. So minimalism aligns with less is more approach. Twitter 280 character limit forces users to convey thoughts concisely. So um, when we have a text limit, so it will make a user go straight to the point because you have a limit on what to use. So it makes user convey thoughts concisely. This constraint results in focused and impactful messages, embodying the essence of minimalism. So number two, I think we can go to white space and layout. White space, these are the empty spaces between elements. It is vital in minimalism. It directs attentions and provides room for each part. Balancing content and space leads to pleasing design. Leaving enough space around the text, for instance, improves readability and makes it more comfortable for users. Minimalistic layout enhances user understanding. When things are clean and organized, as in effective design layout, grasping even complex information is simpler. So, white space and layout, these are the principles that give the site a breathing space. It arranges the content in a way that's not decluttered. And I can say some things that I see or some things that I did when I started designing when I was new to UI UX. So I was always afraid of white space. So in every content, I used to I don't know I used to fill things so that there will be no white space or there will be limit of white space. I used to see white space as a I used to see white space as a hindrance. So, and I can see this to many people. So, I think what got me thinking is when I started looking at the established companies, and I started to see how they use their white space, how they use their layout. They did use white space at their advantage. I saw how they used white space um, to express neatness, to show, to streamline things, and to make their work look professional. So, and from that forth, I started trying to use white space, and I can say, okay, so I can say when I started designing, these are the principles that um, got me to where I am. As I started designing, I used to make things pop out, everything to pop out. I didn't, I believe not on simplicity. And I came to later on see the importance of simplicity and white space and layout. So I think next we can go to typography. So typography minimalism is more than just selecting a font. It's about crafting a language that resonates with users. The typeform spacing and alignment contribute to a design's tone and readability. By favoring clean, legible fonts like sans serif typeface, designers ensure that their content remain the central focus. Words are presented with clarity and grace, inviting users to engage without distraction. So, typography is another principle of minimalism that adds up more into minimalism and can make our work look either professional, can make our work look sleek, or can make work look more visible and readable to a user. So if you use typography wrong, then it can make your website look bad. It can make your website look good. So typography still is it's a something to consider while doing your site. So since you're interpret, we can go next to color palette. So the color palette is an equally essential facet in minimalism. Colors have the remarkable ability to evoke emotion and association, making their selection a delicate art. So, in minimal design, color choices extend beyond aesthetics. They shape the user perceptions and journey, and subdue and harmonious color palettes create a sense of tranquility and balance. Muted tones, soft neutrals, and limited color variation establish an environment where a user can engage without visual clutter. This palette instills a feeling of calmness, guiding user interfaces with ease. So another thing with using the color palette. So um, you might find many people using hard neutrals or using colors like let's say for example you have a white background. You can find somebody using a placeholder for maybe an image or maybe any item and icon. You might find them using the darkest shade of gray. You may find them using high contrast. So, minimalism approach advocates for soft neutral so that we can't direct attention to that form because that form that we are using the color on, it's not the main goal and it's not where we want to direct the eyes of the users, but it's just a holder. So if something we don't want to direct the eyes of the users, we should use a soft contrast, we should use soft neutrals so that we can make everything in harmony so that we can't have everything shouting, we can't have everything trying to grasp our attention. So that we can so this may help in directing the viewer's attention. When we make the page harmonious, when we use soft neutrals, then we can use different colors, or we can use high hard colors on things that we want to direct our users' attention at. But if we use everything with hard color, or we use everything, we make everything in higher contrast, then the user's gonna be confused on which way to go, or it will be hard for you to direct the user to the goal you want him or her. So, alternatively, high contrast color choices can direct attention and highlight important elements. Strategic pop of color, like a vibrant call to action button, can guide users towards specific actions. When implemented thoroughly, these colors accents enhance usability without overwhelming the visual experience. So, color palette. Um, Color palette can dictate our visual experience. So if we use a lot of colors in a page, then it will look decluttered, and we are going to scatter. We are going to scatter the attention of a user. But when we make things neutral, when we make things harmonious, then we can make the page seem at ease, and we can direct users' attention um, using colors on maybe buttons, or using colors on where you want to direct your attention to. So, since we are done with the core principles of minimalism in UI UX, I think we can dive into the importance of minimalism in your design. So, first, I think we can start with enhancing user engagement and usability. By creating designs that are simple and intuitive, users significantly improve the user experience. Users are most likely to engage with a design that is easy to understand and interact with. Minimalist designs are often more accessible. By reducing visual clutter, you make it easier for users to navigate and use your designs. Clean, straightforward designs um, can help build trust with your audience. Users often associate minimalist designs with professionalism and reliability. So if we create designs that are simple and intuitive, we can improve user experience. If we don't incorporate many elements that are not relevant to the goal of the user, then we are gonna declutter his focus. We're gonna declutter the focus. It will take time for him to get to where he or she is supposed to be. But if we if we go straight to the point, if we make it simple, if we declutter everything that's not needed, then it will be easy for user to grasp in a second um, the journey, or to advance, or to create a good experience for him or her in navigating the product. So by decluttering the product, or making it simple and intuitive, we make it easy for a user to navigate the product without unnecessary elements, unnecessary uh, features. Next, you can go to focus on core content and functionality. So, minimalism teaches you to focus on what's truly important in a design. By eliminating unnecessary elements, you can highlight the core content and the functionality, making the focal point. When you focus on the essentials, you're often able to find more effective solutions to design problems. This approach can lead to innovative and creative outcomes. A minimalistic approach can make your designs more adaptable across different platforms and devices, as an essential skill in today's multi-platform world. So, minimalism can help in adapting in adapting different screen sizes, or yeah, in adapting different screen sizes. So you can find mostly some people using on the web, people using on the app, on the mobile phone tab. So when you use minimalistic design, it will be able to make the design responsive, and to be able to make the content same on the platforms, on all the devices. So minimalism helps in that too. So next we can go to minimalism as a response to information overload and design complexity. So, in an age where users are constantly bombarded with information, minimalism offers a way to simplify complex information, make it making it more digestible and easier to understand. Minimalism design can help your work stand out. It offers a clean, refreshing construct from more complex and busy designs. Minimalist designs can tend to be more timeless and less subject to trends, ensuring your work remains relevant to effective for a time period. Incorporating minimalism into your design philosophy can make you a more effective and adaptable designer. It not only improves the aesthetics quality of your work, but also it enhances its usability and relevance in the current design landscape. As a result, embracing minimalism can be a key factor in advancing your design career. So, minimalist design can help you stand out. So, we can see that nowadays many designs, you can find many apps have information overload, and things can make it hard for a user to maybe complete a task, or a user to find what he or she needs. So when we give users a lot of information, um, making the design complexity, we make it hard for a user to navigate. So minimalism helps in sorting out these issues. It comes as a solutions to these problems. Minimalism comes in as to show the straightforwardness of task to be completed, to show the journey to be taken, and it makes it hard for user to be bombarded with information. So that's another importance of minimalism in design. So we can look at another one. So number four, we can go to easy and fast navigation. So the content carries out main focus on minimalistic UX design. So the content carries the main focus. The unnecessary details are not a part of the screen. Hence, when users land on your website, they can easily find what they are looking for and complete the intended tasks without delay. Minimal design lowers the chance of user leaving a site. The straightforward navigation helps improve the overall user experience. As you can see, all of these um, importance or all of these topics that we are looking, they're all intertwined. So we can go to the last one, which is fast page loading speed. So the minimalistic interface has a fewer elements, and overall, thus the website page will quickly load. This works as a competitive advantage for your business. Users tend to leave a site immediately if they have to wait even a second longer for it to load. So, incorporating minimalism, it helps page load for faster because it's not bombarded with a lot of content. So it will be easy and it will be fast for page to load. So importance of as we have seen the importance of minimalism in design, we can see how everything is intertwined from user interface to the experience of a user. So when you give the user the thing that he needs without having to give other information or having to scatter his focus, it decreases the time for a user to reach to his or her goal, or it increases engagement, and it avoids for users to step back or to go back or to close a site or to not proceeding with the flow. So if you use a minimalistic design, it's a high probability that you're gonna increase the retention and you're gonna increase the engagement of a user, and um, increase the we're gonna decrease the time a user uses to reach his intended goal. So we can see all of how everything is intertwined from simplicity for enhancing user engagement and usability. And we can see how it helps in focusing on content and functionality. We can see how it does solve the problem of information overload and design complexity. We can see how it's an advantage for the business as it advocates for responsive layouts and making it easy for you to incorporate it in every device. We've seen how it helps in loading speed. So I think next we can go to the real world illustrations of minimalistic UI design. So I think we can start with Apple. So we are gonna dive into three platforms. One we're gonna start is Apple. We are gonna go to Google, and then we are gonna go to Dropbox. So as we start with Apple, so when it comes to minimalistic UI design, Apple sets the bar high. Their products seamlessly embody this philosophy, focus on simplicity and user friendliness. Think of Apple's sleek, uncomplicated interfaces, prioritizing clean lines and easy to understand interactions. This approach extends across their devices and software, creating user experiences that effortlessly combine elegance with practicality. Take iOS 16 as an example. Apple's dedication to minimalist design is evident in every aspect, including the convenience of features like AirDrop. This functionality provides a clean and intuitive way to transfer files seamlessly. Users can effortlessly share content between devices with a few simple taps, showcasing how minimalism can enhance uh, user experience. So the feature for the AirDrop. So Um, as you can see, how minimalism has been used here, it makes it easy for people to share. So this is the aspect of minimalism in user experience, cutting out unnecessary processes and taking the user straight to their goal and avoiding any unnecessary journeys. So minimalism advocates for straightforwardness and cutting out any journeys or any um, features that are unnecessary to take you to your goal. So we can see the iOS 16 design. You can see it is purposefully organized to get user naturally. Clean lines, well-placed elements, and consistent typography enhance usability. This creates an interface that looks great and makes tasks feel incredibly easy. Apple's minimalist design philosophy isn't just about aesthetics, it's about making technology work seamlessly for you. With iOS 16, Apple demonstrates its mastery in blending sophistication with usability, resulting in an interface that's visually pleasing and incredibly user-friendly. So we are done with Apple. Now I think we can move forward to another example, which is Google. So turning our attention to Google, we find another example of minimalist UI design. Google has embraced these principles through its material design framework, resulting in interfaces that prioritize clarity and ease. This approach emphasizes hierarchy, grid layouts, and animation that guides users seamlessly. Consider the Google Calendar interface as an example. Its minimalist design streamlines how users can manage their schedules, showcasing how simplicity can enhance usability. Okay, we can see from the image here how Google has implemented minimalism. We can see from I think it's decluttered. We can see it's a flat design. We can see we can see the hierarchy, and we can see how Google Calendar is controlling or is leading the view of the user or the attention of the user. You can see how they seamlessly incorporated all of the elements and how they used white space and how they use spacing and their layout. And this makes it gives it breathing space, and it makes a design look professional, and it makes a design appealing to the eye. Unlike if it was decluttered, we can see Google's iconic search engine exemplifies the potency of minimalism. The single search bar, which serves as the central point of interaction, perfectly captures the essence of blending minimalism with functional aesthetics. We can see how Google have implemented their page, how they have done their page, how they incorporated minimalism in their page. We can see that our user, Google mandate is for work as a search engine for users to come and search anything they want and to come and find anything online. So they incorporated that very well by making it the only and making it the only thing visible without decluttering it with other elements. As we even know, they have the Google Calendar, they have other applications, but they decided to have them in a separate place, but have the search engine and um, have the search engine along here so that a user can come straight and can see and can view and can see where he is directed or what he wants to do. So mostly I think users want to come and search. So people come just direct and search. They don't have to see information that they don't need. Or if you need any other information, then you have another journey that you can go to. But the mandate of Google is working as a search engine, so they incorporated it very well as only having the essential elements that they need for people to search. So the next, I think we can go, the next and the last one, I think we can go to Dropbox. So this is a shining example of how simplicity can enhance user experience. The essence of minimalism is deeply ingrained in Dropbox design ethos, contributing significantly to its seamless file sharing experience. By wholeheartedly embracing minimalism, Dropbox ensures that its interface remains uncluttered, allowing users to focus solely on files and actions that matters. From the moment you log into their website to using the application, Dropbox minimal UI design is evident. Every element and interaction is purposefully streamlined, making it exceptionally easy for users to follow their objectives. A simple yet powerful prompt that reads, "Get started for free," is accompanied by an image illustration, various file types being shared among a vast network of individuals. This image reinforces the ease of file sharing and aligns perfectly with their minimalistic ethos with clarity prevails and distractions are minimized. As you navigate through Dropbox interface, as you can see, you'll notice a clever utilization of negative space. This approach enhances visual clarity, making navigation intuitive and tasks straightforward. The design speaks for itself, allowing users to interact without unnecessary friction and delivering on the promise of a simple and effective file sharing experience. So as we've already seen for the examples that we've given, we've seen how they've incorporated the principles of UI UX of minimalism. We can see how they've used white space. We can see how they've used the typography, how they've used limited color palette. We can see these all principles coming in together and forming good design. We can see it making it easy. We can see the journeys, making it easy for people to navigate and making it fast for people to navigate. We can see how we can know and we can see from we use Google so much, so we can see how it has enhanced user engagement and usability. Because if you want to go and search something on Google, you get it just go straight. So it hasn't decluttered any journey. You don't have to go to any other journey so that you can go and search for anything. But the moment you get into the app, then you can search for anything. So we can see the straightforwardness. We can see how these platforms focus on core content and functionality. So we can see how minimalism has helped these platforms um, retain users. We can see how it has made these platforms look professional. Since we are done with the core principles, of minimalism, and we've already looked at the importance of minimalism in UI UX design. We've already seen examples of real world illustrations of minimalism designs. So, this last one, I'm gonna give you the steps for creating a minimalism design for your app. So, next we're gonna go to steps for creating a minimalistic UI design for your app. First, we can start with incorporating white space. When you are doing your design, always consider incorporating white space. Use white space at your advantage. So, white space is also known as a negative space. It doesn't have to be white. Some people, when they say white space, people maybe think the color is just white, but no. White space is the space in between elements, or the negative space where no element has been placed on. That's the white space or the negative space. So to be clear on that. So white space is also known as negative space that doesn't have any color, yet it is an essential component from the designer perspective. This blank space is essential for developing contrast, adding structure, and focusing on the various design elements. As you can see from the image, we can see how white space has been used to balance the design, and we can see how it enhances the visual appeal of the design. So we can see from the first one where no white space has been incorporated. It doesn't look professional, it looks cluttered. But when we look at the second one, where white space has been placed, now this work looks professional, and it looks like there's breathing space, and the designs look more appealing. So designers can use as much white space as they prefer. It all depends on the designer's expertise and how one utilizes white space to make the design more attractive and approachable. Here's how white space adds value to your app. It emphasizes certain aspects of the design. You can use white space to emphasize on things that you need to be emphasized, like uh, depending on the white space you use between elements. You can use white space to show grouping between elements, and we can use it to divide elements, and we can use it to uh, show emphasis on an element. So we can use white space to improve readability and usability. We can use white space to divide and structure element. We can use white space to add elegance to the application. As we can see uh, many luxurious companies, um, or we can see many established companies, big companies. For example, we can see examples like Nike. We can see their sites, how they use white space. We can see how Lacoste have used white space. If you look at many big brands, you can see how they use white space. They advocate for using more, and they advocate for using more white space so that they can create a breathing space, and they can show a sense of elegance, to show professionalism, and show trust. When you go and look at a platform, you see how decluttered it is. It's hard for you to trust the company because of the emotion that the design is giving you. When you see a good design, then it's easy for you to trust a company. But when you see a bad design for a company, then it's hard for you even to trust the company. So we are done with WordPress. Next, we can go to um, when working. So the second one, we can go to removing unnecessary elements. So as we have talked, as we have seen from the principles, we can see how having unnecessary elements can be a hindrance for a user to navigate to the app. It makes it hard for a user to navigate to an app if he has to navigate to information that are not helpful to him. So before you continue to add any more details to your app design, step back and think fast. Is this element essential for my users? If the answer is no, it's best to leave out of the user interface. If you add too many elements, the final result is going to be a messy application that's hard to navigate and impossible to understand. When you have fewer design elements, the users can focus on the essential components that will help them achieve their goal. Number three, we can see um, when designing an app, try using few colors. So using too many colors reduces the sophistication of your mobile app and can repel users. By limiting the number of colors, you can add elegance to your design and invite users to engage with your app. Number four, considering when designing an app. So keep in mind, keep balance and harmony. No? Psychology says that human mind is attracted to symmetry. The human brain is drawn towards faces and objects that follows the laws of symmetry. Humans love harmony and balance. It's subconsciously ingrained in us. So by following this principle, mobile application designers can make their masterpiece more attractive and inviting. Designers should use the grid system to prevent their app from becoming a chaotic mess. Grids can be used to arrange the elements to be consistent and visually pleasing. So something else that minimalism design emphasizes on minimalism design emphasizes on the small details. Small details in things like alignment or elements not aligning. You know, these small details that we can think they're small, but they manifest and on the whole image, it makes even other things look decluttered or look unharmonious. So when we are doing applications, let's keep in mind using grids and using the grid system to keep balance and harmony and have everything in symmetry and have everything to be um, in line with one another. Next, we can look at the typeface. So some designers usually do some justice going to incorporating their work with more than one typeface. This mistake can practically ruin your app. For this reason, designers must know the difference between various typefaces and where to use them. You can't go using a typography theme for a birthday or for a wedding or for some other occasion and going to use it on a corporate website. It will hinder and make it will not go in line with the theme or with the structure of the company or the story of the company. So the type of font you use depends on the kind of content written and the experience that you want your users to have. Typography, the typography you choose, they carry emotions from the shapes of the typography to the spacing of it. They carry emotion. So it's like we can't use, as I've said, we can't mix up something like a text that you are gonna use at a maybe a horror theme, and you go use it to maybe to a farewell theme. You know, the story is gonna mix up, and each typography has its own emotion, it has its own story. So typography has a story that it carries. So it's up to us to know which content we are doing and what story we want it to tell, and if the story aligns with what we are doing. So mixing up more than one font can make the app look sloppy. So as to achieve the best result, test out the different types of fonts and different sizes, play around with the font length, spacing, style, weight and size till you find the perfect typeface that suits your app. Here's some practices for good typography. Font selection. Choose the font wisely. A different type of content requires a different kind of font, as we've talked about. Every content has a different font that aligns with it. So font can be used to express various feelings, as you've seen. So the other thing is font size. Use an appropriate font size. If too big, it will take too much screen space and destroy the appearance of an app. If too small, it will hurt the user's eyes and deteriorate the user experience. So, as as I've seen many designers do, or okay, so for example, I'm a product manager at another company. So I had some interns, some UI UX interns. So um, they came and brought a design to me. So I can see how they use the font size. So they used big font size for the paragraph. They used big font size. I think they feared white space, leaving a lot of white space. So, and it got me back to thinking when I was still a junior designer, or when I was starting. So I can see that this mistake happens to many people when they start using big font size. So when you are designing and use a big font size, remember you are not looking at the whole view in terms of when it's implemented. When you view it, you won't view the spacing around the frame or outside the page. So when you are designing and when it's implemented, it's gonna be zoomed in. So you're gonna view everything in a full screen. Not like when you're designing, when you just have a frame, you have some space between them, it's zoomed out. So you get tend to that you are using big fonts so that it can be visible. But when it's time to be implemented, these fonts they become large when implemented, and it makes their website look cluttered. It makes things seem big, and when things seem big like that, the platform looks unprofessional. And that I think it's one of the things that distinguishes between someone who's starting as a designer and someone who's a professional in this. One thing is the size of the font they use. You would find big platforms using big text. They are using the right size, not big, not small, but just the right size. The size that it's gonna be readable, but at the same time, it won't take a lot of space, and it won't make the design look cluttered. So use the right sizes for your font. This is one thing, and it's a big deal, as I've seen on many designs. Font can make a platform look professional or unprofessional. So choosing the right size and choosing the right typeface can elevate your design from an amateur to a professional. So The font selection and font size. These are very important keys in doing a professional in doing a professional work. So as you can see, even in big brands, you can see for in you can see in these big brands, they never use big fonts. They use the right amount, the right size. Big fonts make it seem cluttered. So I think we are next we can go to sleek and unified action. These are icons, sleek and unified icons. So iconography is a visual language for the app content, features, and functionality. Icons are used to represent elements so they can be recognized and understood easily. For example, the envelope is a widely accepted icon used to represent mail, as you all know. Similarly, the house icon represents home, and the inverted pencil represents editing. Icons must have an element of simplicity. Designers can also use stroke and fill icons to highlight active parts of the application. This is handy for easy app navigation. Here are some tips of improved iconography for a minimalistic user interface. So, one is using icons convey a distinct message. An icon must convey its meaning within seconds. It shouldn't be understandable. It should be understandable and memorable. If you view an icon, then you start to wonder what will this do or what is this doing. Then you fail on that. An icon is a representation that gives the user information at a glimpse. So if your icon doesn't give the information intended at a glimpse, then you should revisit that. So the other thing is being consistent. So be consistent while creating icons for your mobile application development. Maintain the same thickness, colors, and curves. So um, you can see some people while designing. You can find them in this page. They've used a fill icon. You can find this other place. They've used outlines. You can find one has different thickness from this one. This one looks thicker. This one looks thinner. This inconsistency, this inconsistency makes a platform um, look professional. So minimalism advocates for using consistent um, icons, using the same thickness, using the same outlines. So, and the last thing is keeping it simple. As you all know, a picture tells 1,000 words. There's no need to cram your icons. Keep them simple and understandable. The next thing is simple navigation. While creating an app, um, make it simple to navigate. Make sure that the navigation icons on your app are easy to find and easily understood. A magnifying glass icon is only accepted as the search icon. If you choose something else, it will only lead to confusion and bad user experience. Similarly, a shopping cart is used for the intention of adding goods and making purchases. Don't opt for anything else. It will only mislead the application users. So you can see using icons make it simple to navigate. As from what we have seen, um, as I've already shown you the steps for creating a minimalistic UI design for your app. So all these things, from incorporating white space to removing unnecessary elements, using fewer colors, keeping balance and harmony, using one typeface, and font selection, your font size, and using sleek and unified actions. All of these are the ones which incorporate to bring out minimalistic design. So if we incorporate all of this, then we are gonna have a minimalistic design. So, and the goal, as I've already said, the goal of minimalistic design is to give a user an easy time while wanting to navigate your app, making your app look professional and avoiding your app looking decluttered or having too many information. So, as we have seen, as we've covered, um, we've seen what minimalism is. We've seen what minimalism in UI UX is. We've already covered the how minimalism came about, the history of minimalism, and we've already seen the core principles of minimalism in your UX. We've seen how minimalism is important for your design. We've seen real world illustrations of minimal UI designs. I've already taken you through the steps for carrying minimalistic UI design. So, in conclusion, I can say that minimalist UI seems easy to create. However, most designers end up removing content and elements which otherwise help users to navigate and understand the app. So, as even though you are trying to create a minimalistic uh, feeling or a minimalistic theme, remember when we haven't said that you only put less information, but what minimalism stands for is putting the needed information, not putting less information. Some people do confuse between these, either putting less information and putting needed information. So there's a very thin line on that, putting less information and placing needed information. So minimalism advocates for putting needed information, not less information. So don't get wrong on that. What it advocates is put needed information. So whether you're adding more content or intend to remove some, put yourself in the user's shoes. Ask yourself, does my app interface make things easier for users? And is it useful for getting the task done faster? So before you remove any elements or before you place element, ask yourself this. Does my app interface make things easier for the users? So as we have already seen, uh, as we've seen from all of this, and I hope now you understand what minimalism is, how it came to be, the principles, and how to create a minimalistic design. Thank you. Okay, so I'm done with the presentation. Think back to you. Can you hear me, Stella? Back to you.
Hello, hi Geoffrey. Okay, thank you, Geoffrey, for the session. I think he has dropped. Off. So thank you. Oh wait, I don't think he has. Geoffrey, can you hear me?
Okay, thank you. Good weekend too.
You can hear me. Sorry, can you hear me? Geoffrey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Um, So you have received a lot of comments. I hope you have been able to see them. You actually had somebody who was following through from Dubai, and they've said they have reached a lot. Geoffrey, you have also somebody from Mombasa. We have like some people saying nice and shaking. So you guys, you can give Geoffrey your flowers
Mm.
or his flowers as he winds up the session. So thank you, Geoffrey. So maybe you can let us know what your current role looks like as a UI UX designer. Are you just telling designers no, not that one, no, not that one, or are you going down into um, the details, especially in what you do day to day in your role?
Okay. So I work at a fintech company called Nairobi. So my daily task actually is usually to maybe come up with um, journeys that are gonna get the users to where they are gonna go, and streamlining the journey plus creating the interfaces.
Okay, thank you. So you use Figma a lot?
I do use Figma a lot. Most
Okay.
of the time I use Figma. Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind talking salaries in terms of how you are able to grow? You might not say the exact figure right now if you don't want to, but can you talk like fast salary? You know, right now, we are seeing young people coming into the space and they want to be paid 2 million in month one. I think I saw a video. Somebody's currently saying they're doing much Bachelor of Communication, and when they finish like this, they'll be paid 500,000. So if you can give us the reality core ground, how does salary look, or how did it look like for you, and how did you, at what point did you crack the code of actually earning a lot? Because I feel like in the tech journey, there's a point you get and you realize this is how you should do it so that you can start earning more with your skills.
Okay. So let me start off here. So um, well, I actually started venturing into UI UX. Actually, I didn't even know if the job market was huge. So one thing I didn't concentrate on while I was starting, it's the salary and finding a job and any money coming with it. So I did it of passion for the first time. And I will encourage everyone out there, I mean, ukianza, don't look at the money because it takes time to actually first to start earning as a youth. It takes time because to be hired somewhere you have to have uh, that level of your design have to have that professionalism look, and they have to sell, not gonna give you their money if your design looks bad. So, first of all, I started in maybe planning and maybe doing even projects for free. I've done a lot of projects for free, money. So I can say the first amount of money that I got was, I think it was 10K. That was the first money I got doing a whole app, which had some sub apps in them. It was like four apps in one. It was a lot of work. But even getting that 10K, I felt so good because it's something that I had on myself, and it's something that I'm seeing the fruits of what I've been working on. So, in terms of earning as a UX designer, I say it takes time. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes commitment so that you can first earn your money. And from that, I've been doing a lot. For UX design, you always do a lot of works that you're not paid. So for me, for me, payment, I look at it in this way. I can either be paid money or I can take a portfolio in terms of payment. So if it's coming to my portfolio, then it elevates me, you know. But that usually season that you have to be in. You have to work on your portfolio. You can't start running without portfolios. So you have to first work on your design school. Ours is not theory. I won't go there to interview. I tell you, oh, how this, how that. It's something visual. So it takes time for you to build that uh, visual, visual. I would say to build that visual aspect of it, and for someone to be interested in your work. So it takes time, and after that, the more you dive into projects, the more you learn. This is not a theory that I'm gonna read about UX, then I'm gonna be great at it. Even if you read about UX, UI, even for a year, it won't help you execute as much as practicing it in a daily basis. For me, actually, remember, I used to practice it from, I don't know, like every day I used to practice. And one thing that helped me while I was starting this journey, it was the what is XD daily challenges. I think that's where I started. I started maybe practicing more and more because XD had daily challenges, had daily challenges. So I would advocate for anyone who's beginning or anyone who's a beginner to practice more and more without looking at what amount it brings. Because if you perfect yourself, then the money will come later. Yes, that's my ideology about earning in this platform. So I can say from that, I've been in seasons for doing projects, and I've done a lot of projects that I'm satisfied with, and I've done a lot of projects that I can see. I can see how my advancement and how I grow. So from now, from this project that I'm doing right now, I won't do it the same way that I did the previous project. I learned something from the previous project, and I've done a lot of projects. So, and it came to a time from last year. I've done a lot of projects. So now it's a season now for you to maybe cut back on doing now other, because I already have projects. So you cut down on doing projects that are not paying you. Now you can go to projects that are paying you after you already have that portfolio, something that you can sell out with. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe even something that was eye-opening for me this year, I was listening to the interview done by Trevor. I don't know if some of you know Trevor. He's not in the tech space, but he's in the digital space. The Eve Mungai and Trevor. So behind all that saga, one of the things that I got that he was really talking about is how they were able to grow the brand. So they were saying they were releasing up to 3 videos a day. So I sat down and I asked myself, if I was to build 3 projects a day, even for 30 days, that is, I can't compare myself with somebody who is even doing 1 project a day or is doing 1 project a week. And sometimes we look at these young people, and especially the space that we are in right now. um if I would challenge all of you to just build something simply. Today you can build a div, you can design a div. Tomorrow you can design a banner. The other day you can design a nav bar. Continue like that. Imagine if you were to do 3 of that and you release it. For sure, even you'd have the success that we see them having. I think sometimes we hate on these fellow young people like us. We can't really fathom how they have been able to make money. But if they were able to do that on a daily basis, then their success is justified. In as much as we might not like it, it is justified. So even if us ourselves we were just to do that, just imagine if you were to do a project a day for the next 6 months. This will be how, like I take a Sunday unasema just 3 hours I do a project. Because just even it can be one month, do something. Even within a month, that is 30 projects or 30 things that you have done towards your skill. If you do that again for another 3 months, that is 90 things you have actively done towards your skill. For sure, even within that 3 month, you will the client will see you deserve to be paid different, and even you will approach the client with a different thing on the table. So I think sometimes we ask so much when we have done so little. We ask so much when we have done none. We ask so much just because you believe you paid for an expensive school. You're like, yeah, I paid for that school and I have that certificate. I can't take a free job. Okay, guess what? Somebody who is learning on YouTube, because if I learn on YouTube and I produce those 3 projects a day, I will beat you in the field because it's a game, it's a numbers game as well. And because through the numbers is how you become good, is how you interact with people, is how you bring more experience and more people to your table. So what are your numbers? If we look at your portfolio right now, how many portfolios, how many projects are we seeing? Are we finding 10? And you're saying you have 10, 4 years of experience. And then that means between in a year you build roughly 2 projects. Then so it means in one year, if I was a client, you will take 6 months to build one project. So it looks like it does not make sense. It looks like if I am, especially now that I am, and I try to I interview people for some companies. I also look at the speed at which you produce projects. That means you will produce 1 project in 6 months. That is not a good look because right now we are in the world of everyone wants convenience. You don't want to order something from Uber and get it after 6 months. So why should a client or why should somebody hire you to receive something after 6 months? We are in a world where, especially with the rise of AI, we have to be very fast. We have to know how to integrate these tools to make our productivity very fast. which are some of the elements of AI that you can tap into that can allow your productivity to be extremely fast, extremely efficient. Because then, if you come to me and I tell you, hey, I can build you, because if you build one payment integration, the logic is the same. It will never change. So that means if maybe this time I built a payment integration in 1 month, even the next client, I'll be like, oh yeah, okay. So even I can give them the 1 month quotation, but me, I'll do it in 2 weeks. But then I can be like, oh, I can also do this in 1 week, and I charge him double. They will accept it. They will take it, because we're in a world that wants us to do fast, to deliver fast, and to do it quick. But a lot of us, we stamp over it. We are full stack developers, but we can't implement even a payment integration yet. We ourselves use platforms that are digital. So what do you want your client? You want them to receive money in cash, yet you pay digitally in the other resources that you use. Which is the user experience in the apps that you use? Do you consider that when you're building your apps? Do you disregard, especially right now, are you thinking about accessibility? Are you thinking about the different audiences? Right now you have to think about a 3-year-old using your app. They never used to think about such things. Now they have to think. We have to think about old people using our apps. We have to think about people who don't speak English using our apps. That is the next level of how we integrate things like AI to help us to make our applications multilingual, to make us help our applications diverse to the different audiences. So, okay, I have taken over the conversation, but thank you, Geoffrey, so much. Thank you for talking about, working to build a portfolio. I personally, right now, I have really been looking for volunteers, even for just this summit. It was really, really hard to get people who will see the projects through to the other end. So I feel like we need to, yet I myself am a volunteer in organizing all, nobody is paying me for this, but you have to get to a point where you understand that I want to learn. You say you want to learn how to network. Why don't you start something and gain networks? I have met Geoffrey here. I have never met him before, but I think even with the next interaction, it will be an easy interaction because we have brushed shoulders. So those are some of the things that we have to put ourselves in positions where we are able to excel, not even for the circumstances we see now, but for the unseen circumstances that you can see. And working for free, it's not a bad thing. But if you work for free and you tell yourself, you say, I'm going to volunteer to build one project for the next 3 months. I'm so sure the fourth month you won't be working for free. So it just depends on how you see it. But if you do one project in 6 months, then you will most probably volunteer for several years. So you have to choose your battle. So thank you, Geoffrey, for the session. Um, I don't think I have anything else unless you have anything to add.
No, I think that's all for me. Okay, maybe I can add one small thing. So, um, the reason why I picked this topic, minimalism in UX design, I can say that this topic, or this theme, or uh, this is what got me from designing an amateur design or an amateur application to a professional one. So, incorporating everything that we've talked about, so if the other designers out there you are starting, then I would appreciate if you would go and venture more into minimalism, because I can see um, a lot of mistakes that I can see the juniors doing or beginners doing. They want to make everything pop out. It's like they want everything to be recognized. You see? And from that, you can find that there's scattering of information, you know, like um, it messes up with the experience, it messes up with the view of the application. So if you're out there, if you're starting, go and learn more about minimalism, go and look at the elements, and trust me, if you follow those principles, then you yourself, you'll find yourself going from designing amateur designs to professional designs and going forward. That's how I grew in my journey. That's what helps me. So even now, whenever I design anything, I actually look if is this something that I want my users to concentrate on. If not, then I won't make it pop out. I'll make it be there, but I won't make it pop out. You see? But if I want to maybe direct the eye of the user. Now that's when I can make something pop out. And if I make that one thing pop out, then it will pop out more and it will be visible more, and the person will it will work 100% sure for someone to know that that's where he's supposed to go, or that's where I want his view to be. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, I think thank you. We have come to the end of our session. Thank you, Geoffrey, for your time. Thank you for being willing to share the information you have gathered. Kindly share the slides with me, and I can be able to share with the audience via email. And they can be able to just reiterate and go over them, hopefully, and put them into consideration when creating their projects. So have a nice evening, everyone. We'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we have let me just read out the session so that you guys can be aware, in case you haven't looked at the schedule, but using our site, africastemsummit.com, you can be able to find our schedule there as well. So tomorrow we are going to be talking about exploring emerging technologies in the design landscape, and we are also going to be talking about key principles of UI UX design in the afternoon. So let us meet tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Let us know what you have learned in the social media. Go and connect with Geoffrey. The link is in the his link to his LinkedIn. The link to his LinkedIn is in the description of this video. Connect with him, interact with him, give him feedback about the session, and continue talking about what you have been able to learn and implementing it as well. So thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Thank you for having me. Have a good evening.